Secretary McMahon, you've claimed that you want to drastically reduce the already very small federal role in education, and also that you will not cut Title I-A funding. That is still your position, correct? So let's talk about so-called illegal DEI, as you all have called it, a phrase you've continually bring up, that I'm still unclear on, especially after 3 federal judges have preliminarily ruled that your illegal DEI guidance is likely unconstitutional and unenforceable, illegal, as it were. Secretary McMahon, during your confirmation hearing, you were asked by Senator Chris Murphy if an African-American history class violated the administration's position on diversity, equity, and inclusion. You said you'd like to look into it. You've been on the job for a few months now. Have you been able to look into it?
I do not think that African studies or Middle East studies or Chinese studies are part of DEI if they are taught as part of the total history package. So that if you're giving the facts on both sides, of course they're not DEI.
I don't know what both sides of African-American history would be.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Majority Watch. What unfolded was a one-sided takedown. Representative Summer Lee put Education Secretary Linda McMahon under intense pressure with a barrage of facts and sharp questioning, leaving little room for a response. By the end of the exchange, the balance of power in the room was unmistakable, and Lee had firmly seized control of
before the bail.
Would you say that it would be an illegal DEI for a lesson plan on the Tulsa Race Massacre?
I'd have to get back to you on that.
Do you know what the Tulsa Race Massacre is?
I'd like to look into it more and get back to you on it.
Okay, so I look forward to that. How about the book Through My Eyes by Ruby Bridges, for instance?
I haven't read that.
Have you learned about Ruby Bridges?
If you have specific examples you'd like
That
to
was a
cite,
specific example.
I'll be very happy.
It was an
for you-
incredibly
for
specific
you
example.
To submit
I named
those
a
in your
specific book.
questions, and I will look into it and get back to you on them.
Thank
I
you.
look
How
forward
about
to
a
answering them
school
directly.
having a voluntary celebration for Pride Month?
Well, I think that.
Voluntary.
Well, let's make sure that in our schools.
This is yes or no?
We're looking. No, it's not.
Okay. How about social studies standards that teach that President Biden won the 2020 election?
I think our studies should all be taught accurately.
Yes or no?
I think our studies should
No,
be
no, no.
taught
The
accurately.
question was, do you believe that social studies standards that teach that President Biden won the 2020 election is an illegal DEI? Yes or no?
I think I have said we should teach accurately. We should.
No,
be
you have
on all
not answered
sides.
the question.
Well,
I
answering
don't
the
understand
question.
why you're incapable
I'm
of
just
answering.
not giving you the answer you want.
No,
but
I want
answered
the answer,
questions.
whatever your answer is.
I just gave you the answer.
No, the answer is yes or no.
Well, the answer is.
ready
I
to
The answer is
call
yes
it.
or no.
School of
This wasn't
African-American
education
history is
policy.
part of
Certainly,
history.
but what we recognize
It's being
throughout
taught as-
what we recognize throughout education is that a course is only 1 year or 1 semester. It would be impossible to teach African history and say European history at the same time. Do you not agree that it makes sense that there would be separate courses for these courses of study? It has happened throughout history. We're able to do it not just in history courses. We're able to do it with different types of literature courses or different types of music courses. One wouldn't learn about Baroque music and necessarily have to also learn about African drumming at the same time, right? We can separate those courses.
Yes, we can. And I think just as we teach U.S. history as a separate course.
Certainly. So you do not agree. So you do agree that African American cultures and African history should not be eliminated from courses, particularly AP African history.
Well, I think that African history can certainly be taught and not be considered a D.
Lee wasn't interested in participating in a carefully managed conversation where difficult truths get watered down until nobody has to feel uncomfortable. She went straight to the heart of the issue and forced everyone in the room to confront the weakness hiding behind the talking points. The debate changed the moment she challenged the idea that African American history should somehow be viewed through a vague both sides lens. That wasn't just a question. It was a spotlight aimed directly at an argument that could not withstand serious examination. The reason the moment landed so hard is because some subjects are not matters of competing opinion. There is no alternate interpretation of people being denied equal rights under the law. There is no opposing perspective that turns segregation into a reasonable policy. There is no second version of reality where children needing protection to attend school becomes a debatable issue. Once the discussion reached that point, the focus shifted away from politics and towards something much bigger. Whether historical facts should be treated as facts at all. What followed revealed more than any prepared statement ever could. Instead of delivering a clear and convincing explanation, uncertainty began to take over. The answers lacked direction. The defense lacked substance. The exchange exposed a deeper concern about whether the people entrusted with shaping educational priorities fully understand the historical experiences they are responsible for teaching. That concern extended far beyond one hearing room. Lee understood that history is not simply a collection of dates and names printed in textbooks. It is the record of real people who lived through real struggles, overcame real obstacles, and fought for rights that many Americans now take for granted. When those stories are minimized, softened, or treated as politically inconvenient, students lose access to an honest understanding of how the country developed. They inherit fragments instead of the full picture. That was the significance of the exchange. It wasn't about scoring points or creating a viral moment. It was about drawing a clear distinction between preserving historical truth and allowing uncomfortable facts to fade into the background. By remaining focused and direct, Lee demonstrated that accountability does not require shouting. Sometimes the most effective challenge is simply asking a question that demands an answer. And when that answer never comes, the silence speaks for itself.